Welcome, I'm Tom Laux, your host for Community Connections, a local news magazine that highlights the activities, people, conversations, and events that mean most to you in Southwood County. On today's program, we'll find out the rules for recycled paper and cardboard in the city of Wisconsin Rapids. Hear more about Lean Six Sigma from Stevens Point Mayor Andrew Halverson and Wisconsin Rapids Mayor Zach Verwink. We'll learn why Love Your Block was a success in the city of Wisconsin Rapids, and we'll find out more about walking school bus in the city of Wisconsin Rapids and the future of the program. So please stay tuned over the next 25 minutes and find out more about Southwood County and why this part of the county is so special. Right now, we'll listen from Jim Borski as he continues to talk about recycling from our previous episode.
I brought along some paper products here. I guess, really common cardboard, just scrap paper, junk mail, newsprint. It's all recyclable. It can all be mixed and put in a brown paper bag like this and then set next to your bin or on top of your bin, or if you have room in your bin, right in your bin. Our driver will pull the paper out, put it in one compartment of his truck, take the container products and put them in another compartment. So paper products are recyclable. This is craft paper. It is recyclable, but it's not cardboard. So if you want to separate them, if you've got big pieces of cardboard, you can bundle it, tie it with string, and he'll pick it up that way. If it gets too big, it doesn't fit in the truck. So about 2 feet square is as big as we like to see cardboard set out. If you have a refrigerator box or a large cardboard box and you set it out there and fill it with paper, he probably can't get that in the truck. So we ask you to break your cardboard down into smaller pieces that will dump up into the truck. If you can get it this small, it can all go in a paper bag and all go to the same source. Gets remade into paper. I guess briefly, a couple of the things that we find in the recycling bins that still are not recyclable. One type of plastic we're seeing a lot of is foam polystyrene, and packing pellets or packing beads, they're not recyclable. The polystyrene containers that say takeout food would come in are not recyclable. Foam disposable plates, we used to call them, they used to be just paper plates, but now you can buy a foam alternative to that. Those are not recyclable. Throw them in the garbage. Plastic sheeting like saran wrap or the little plastic bags that potato chips would come in, those are still not recyclable. Plastic bags that you get at a department store in town are recyclable, but not in our city collection. You can take those back to the store you bought them at. A lot of stores have a box right when you enter the store. You can put them in that box. They have a different market for those bags. Or you can reuse them. That's probably even a better step. But don't put them in the recycling bin for collection. I guess those are the main things we find. We do see a lot of tin cans that still have the labels on them. Please take the paper label off, put it in with your paper. Make sure it's fairly clean. And those are the key things that we've been seeing. Number 1 through 7 plastics, as long as it has the emblem on them and they're fairly clean, put it in your recycling. And we'll see if we can get our tonnage up going to be reused rather than going to the landfill, one use and buried. Thank you.
You can stay updated with River City's Community Access TV by a live stream or on demand at wrpeg.org. Keep a lookout throughout the month for a variety of original programming produced by our staff and local volunteers. This month includes Wisconsin Rapids City Band and high school concerts produced by RCCA volunteer David Ballerstein. Religious programs are also provided by local church volunteers. Stay informed to local government issues with Wood County Board Chairman Lance Plimmel and Mayor Zachary Verwink on Carl Hilke's Morning Magazine on WFHR. We'll also provide a City of Wisconsin Rapids Committee, Common Council, Wood County Board, Waterworks and Lighting Commission, Nakusa, Port Edwards, and Wisconsin Rapids Public School Board educational meetings. You can become more informed about your community by a new Snapshot segment hosted by Tom Laux. These segments will feature a 2-minute spotlight on interesting people and events in Southwood County. So enjoy the diversity of local programming only offered on your own River City's Community Access Station. In the previous episode of Community Connections, we learned from Riverview Hospital's Chris Spranger and Stevens Point Mayor Andrew Helverson about what Lean Six Sigma is about. In this episode, we'll find out how the city of Stevens Point is currently using the program and how Riverview Hospital transformed their emergency room to help serve the needs of the public more efficiently.
We have our two main projects, payroll and bartenders licensing, that we're looking at. Payroll, of course, being ultimately exclusively internal. But how we work payroll, of course, from our employees' perspective is the most important thing we do. Why do you come to work? We want to all say that, of course, it's because we want to serve the citizens of Stevens Point or Wisconsin Rapids, but ultimately it's to get a paycheck. So it's the most important thing we do. Ironically, it's also the most expensive thing we do. 80+% of our budget is associated with personnel costs. So the leaner we can get that process, the easier we can make it on all of our administrative staff who collect the hours, compile those sheets, and turn them in. The leaner we can get that process, the more time it puts into those employees' hands. And then, of course, that time can be redistributed to other goals. The other important part of that, and is actually almost exclusively an external project, is the bartenders' licenses. You know, we just finished laying out the process map, which Chris will be able to explain much better than I can, but the process map, in essence, very simply, is all of the processes associated with getting something done from A to Z. And as we looked at that, the actual time, the actual physical time that's associated with bartenders' licenses in terms of the review internally is actually only a matter of hours. But the time from start to finish for a citizen to get their license is well in excess of a month. So how can we narrow that process up so the citizens feel that they're getting an efficient use of their tax dollars, that we're able to get them the mechanism so they can earn money for themselves and their family, but still gain added time for us internally? We understood that we have a process for the city clerk when it comes to licensing, the comptroller treasurer's office, the police department, and in many instances, the inspection and community development department. We're touching 4 departments, probably 9 different hands, to simply get a bartender a piece of paper that says they can pour a drink. Sounds a little inefficient to me. Did we ever look at it that way before? Of course not. That's the way we've always done it, right?
The city of Stevens Point is just beginning to implement the changes now. But in the near future, the city is looking towards technology improvements. The bidding process is just one of those.
Well, we want to look at our bidding process for outside contractors. We may find ways to lean that up in terms of how they get the bid documents, the specs, whether we're going to leverage technology and go to complete online bidding and opening of bids. That's certainly a process that we want to streamline and look at. We orchestrate and execute through our engineering department probably 22 to 25 separate paving contracts, construction projects annually. The leaner that we can keep that process, and the leaner the review process and the inspection process that we use out in the field to monitor these contracts, that's a big one that we're looking at as well.
Chris Spranger, an employee at Riverview Hospital, explains how they changed the way they approach emergencies.
So actually, the emergency department has been a focus of ours, through the last 2-3 years, and a big focus in that arena is the wait times. And one particular project that comes to mind that's being worked on right now is when the physician in the emergency department decides that someone is sick enough to be admitted to our inpatient unit, one of the 2 inpatient units, we now have to take action. So nursing units have to get ready to take the patient, someone's got to transport them, there's a whole bunch of records and documentation that need to be taken into account. So we've worked to reduce the amount of time when the physician in the ED says, okay, admit this patient. We've worked to reduce that delay before you're up on the floor and in a bed and settled in, for your next phases of care. And just to throw some numbers out, about 2 years ago, it took almost 2 hours for that process to happen after the physician knew that you were going to be admitted as a patient. And this last month, our median was 39 minutes. So we've taken out a great deal of that wait time, which not only helps that one individual patient, but it also helps unclog our emergency department so that now they have a bed available down there to take care of someone that might be just showing up with some type of condition.
City of Wisconsin Rapids Mayor Zach Bruenk tells us why it's important for city leaders to begin looking at improving the operational efficiency within city departments.
First, the City Council has given us approval for the first phase of the operational improvement initiative that we're coining Rapid Improvement, and that's a cost of $10,000. And we will be utilizing Mid-State, so we're utilizing local training for all of our staff to be able to go through a training right here locally. Well, the initial tool set that all department heads and individuals that go through the training are given is the Lean Six Sigma principles, which Lean is based on finding waste. And once you find waste, whether it's time or money, both of which are scarce and limited resources for any organization, much less a local government, it will give them the opportunity then, oftentimes, let's take our permitting process, for example, we'll be able to ideally take that down the length of time it takes somebody. So for a developer, for example, that comes to town, it would shorten their time span of having to work with the city to get approval for a potential project they're looking to develop. Which department specifically do we want to start with? You know, there's a lot of places for most potential, and I think whether it's just modernizing the way that they're collecting information from pen and paper to moving to a piece of technology to do that for them. There isn't any specific department we're really looking to start with, but there's a lot of cross-functional departments that I think will improve communication between them and also foster an environment where they're working together. So our Rapid Improvement Initiative is going to kick off with the training of 24 department individuals from different departments. The training starts in July, and those individuals will be going through 17 sessions. They're 4-hour sessions, and those individuals will be taking the training right here at City Hall, and Mid-State's going to be coming to us to do the training. And so plan on doing 1 session a week, possibly 2 sessions a week, so that'll take us into September, and the plan is to then kick off with a steering committee, and the steering committee will assist us. It's not of department heads, it's people that we've selected from other departments, possibly mid-level managers that will be able to meet quarterly to talk about some projects that have been submitted for approval, for them to vet them out and really just to steer the next steps. They'll have a criteria that every project goes through for selection, and again, that'll happen sometime early fall. There are a number of projects that people have already identified that have kind of an application for some sort of operational improvement. So those are going to be quick wins. But I would say that we're going to have some that are going to take sometimes months to complete. So I would say this time next year, there's no reason to think that we won't have at least 1 project completed. Part of the training will include walking through projects. So once the training is completed, we'll have that project well underway.
Keep jobs in the heart of Wisconsin. Buy local.
Ward 1 in Wisconsin Rapids kicked off Love Your Block, a neighborhood revitalization service initiative. It is the first of the kind in the city of Wisconsin Rapids. It involves residents and city government partnering together around community pride and service. The cleanup effort targeted the area from 7th Avenue North up to 17th Avenue in Wisconsin Rapids.
One of the residents told us how she was sick and tired of her neighborhood looking the way it was, and so she called my office and called her alderman and said she wanted to help participate in cleaning up her neighborhood. So we decided that we would give it a run and try to see what kind of thing we could make of it. So we had a number of people that came out to participate. In fact, it was surprising. I'm still surprised how many people are here today to help. We've got neighbors coming out of their houses, bringing clutter that would be in their backyard that would otherwise might be a violation, bringing it to the curb so it can be taken care of. So kind of an amnesty day to clean up Ward 1.
The landfill advanced disposal dropped off 40-yard dumpsters in different places throughout the neighborhoods, and the city crews are here with their equipment, and we're recycling. We're taking TVs, appliances, tires, just general garbage out of people's backyards and garages, and we almost got them all full. This is great. It's not even noon yet, and dumpsters are full. So this is a great day, and I think it's just a start, and I hope other wards pull together and we can do this citywide.
What happened is a family member of mine had a drug bust at a real, dilapidated house right next door to her. And I was really upset because the actual takedown of the criminal was right in her backyard with 3 cops and a dog, and he was in handcuffs. So we are here to clean up our ward. We're going to let people know of all the zoning ordinances and that they're going to comply. We have had such a wonderful, successful day here. We are just amazed with all the safety green, and I just can't tell you how grateful I am that we had so many wonderful volunteers. It's great. Thank you.
A new initiative in the city of Wisconsin Rapids in conjunction with the school district called Safe Routes to School is a school bus powered not by an engine, but by legs of kids.
It started with Officer Casey Borkart writing the Safe Routes to School grant, and part of that grant was there's a national program called Walking School Bus, and when we heard about the Walking School Bus, presented it to our PTC and our Healthy Families group, we thought it was a perfect fit because we do have a 2-mile radius of students that walk, and a lot of students that walking is a challenge and to get here on time.
From the Walking School Bus, we created routes where the parents allowed their kids to walk to school, knowing that they would be walking with adult leaders who had background checks and that they would be safe being able to walk to school. We chose Meade Elementary Charter School because of Mrs. Dorhorst, Margie Dorhorst, the principal. She's been great, enthusiastic, supportive, just wonderful. Anything and everything that they could do to help the program, she's been able to help it.
We have our community working with us as well. The walking school bus has helped quite a bit because now we're not just teaching the public about, safe ways to walk and co-travel, but we're getting to the children, and they're actually, on those mornings that they're walking, they're not just learning about it, but they're actually doing it, and they're doing it safely with those trained volunteers. So I think it's just a bigger part of changing the culture in Wisconsin Rapids, changing the habits of our pedestrians and our drivers, and over time I think we're going to see an even bigger impact.
I thought it was a great opportunity to exercise with the kids and enjoy my favorite activity, which is walking with the kids, and it gave them some quality time with an adult as we walked to school. Our route is about a mile to get out to the starting point of the walk and then walking back, so the students walk about a mile, which is a great opportunity for some really great physical activity that's fun and social.
Well, this is my 3rd time walking. I walked twice last week, and I wasn't really familiar with the program before I was asked to participate and be a guest walker, and I think it's really important to have these leaders in our community walk these children to school. There's busy roads, there's not a lot of crossing guards in some of the busy intersections, and it's great to make sure that these children arrive safely to school.
I think the values exceeded even what I anticipated. It's been a great partnership with the community, and Bev Galoni, who has been making all of this happen, has done a great job of connecting with local officials, with volunteers, with local groups to explain it. So it's bringing positive connections of other adults with our kids. And also it's just another great alternative for our kids to have a positive connection with an adult in the morning.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Community Connections, our monthly news magazine that highlights the activities, people, conversations, and events that mean most to you in Southwood County. We thank Wisconsin Rapids cable subscribers on Solaris Channel 3 and Charter 985 and 96 for supporting River City's community access. If you want to be a guest on this show, please contact me at tlaux@wirapids.org or give me a call at the studio at 715-423-0441. You can see this show anytime online. Just log on to www.wrpeg.org and click on the On Demand section. While visiting our website, you'll always find a weekly schedule of programs along with a Facebook link too, along with updated meetings and much more. Our goal here at the station is to provide a medium of information and promotion serving the Wisconsin Rapids community.